According to Tom Curran of NBC Sports, real negotiations have yet to begin, but Kraft, quote, will not intercede despite his long stated preference that Brady retires a Patriot. He is committed to letting Bill Belichick decide the football future of the team. So, Shannon, are you buying this?
I am, because I said it earlier. I said I believe this time Brady, Mr. Kraft interjected, and Brady won. This time around, 2 years later, I do not believe Mr. Kraft would interject. Skip, because here's the thing. This is what's at play here. I believe all the other teams that are interested in Tom Brady can offer something the New England Patriots are unwilling to do. And what's that, Skip? They will give him more than 1 year. Because the Patriots could have made this, Skip, they could have made this a moot point. They could have said, here, Tom, here's a 2-year extension, or here's a 3-year extension. Still give him the $8 million and say, okay, next year be 25, the year after that be 27. They could have done that if they didn't wanted to. But there's a reason, Skip. He's going to be 43. Look, and I hate having to say this every time I talk about Tom Brady. Tom Brady has won 6 Super Bowls. He's gone to 9. He was in every championship game for the last decade, seems like. But Skip, take Brady off the back of the jersey and just evaluate him this year. Skip, oh, I'm glad. You know what, Jenny? Just came to my attention.
What?
Skip Bayless said the numbers. This right here, the numbers. The numbers say Tom Brady was 27th in completion percentage. The numbers say that. The numbers say Tom Brady was 27th in yards per attempt. Okay. The numbers say Tom Brady was 19th in QBR. Now, Skip Bayless, you love numbers. You just force-fed me numbers about Sunday. Yep. Now, I just gave you the very numbers that you turned and tried to use against me. Take Brady off the back of the jersey and say that his name is David Kicklighter. I like that name. Went to school with some kicklighters. David Kicklighter is his name. And you say he was he's about to be 43 at the start of next season. He was 27th in completion percentage. He was 27th in yards per attempt. And he was 19th in QBR. And none of the other stuff matters because we're evaluating this past season. You want that? Oh. You signing up for that, Skip Bayless? Absolutely not.
I'm signing up so fast because let's read the rest of the numbers. That man was up against this last year, the sorriest roster he's ever had around him. Because last year, if we could look at this, he had a bunch of spare parts in his offensive line, then coached by Dante Scarnecchia, probably the greatest offensive line coach ever, and he is now retired a second time.
Because he know what's up.
I think he will stay retired. So Tom's thinking, do I want to go back to that? His run game, Tom Brady's run game last year ranked 18th in the NFL. Is that good? I don't think that's very good. The defense that you were raving about most of the year, once it hit Baltimore, that was week 9 at Baltimore, it got exposed. From that point on, it allowed the 10th most points. I'm sorry, the 10th fewest points. Right. They were ranked 10th in points allowed from that point on. So they went from greatest defense ever to falling off the cliff.
Yeah, as I told you, they were never that.
Well, that's and they were 13th in rush yards allowed over those last 8 games. And then that quarterback that you say, what's the eye test tell you?
What'd it tell you?
That quarterback somehow lifted that sorry supporting cast into position to have the 2 seed in the AFC. That would mean you get a bye week ahead of maybe 1 playoff game to get to Baltimore, right? So the point is, he did this. He went 8 plays in 60 yards against the Dolphins to win the 2 seed, to put them up 24-20. If we could see how this looked, tell me what your eye test would tell me. These 4 completions you're about to see from Tom Brady. Here's the first one to James White. It's 8 yards. There we go. He looked pretty good in the pocket there. That's for 8 yards. Next one's just going to be a little 4-yarder to Benjamin Watson. That works. That looks like Tom Brady. Now, here it comes. It's 3rd and 4 at the 32. Here's to Sanu. Tell me if this looks like Tom Brady. Tell me if this looks like Tom Brady.
Are you going to protect him like that?
There you go. That worked. That's just Sanu for 22 yards on 3rd and 4. And here comes 3rd and goal at the 13. Help me out. That'll work. That'll work, and it's a touchdown. So that's the drive. That went 60 yards in 8 plays, and all of a sudden you're up 24-20 with 3:53 left. Now let's see what Ryan Fitzpatrick, of all quarterbacks, does to the defense you were raving about all year, because I'm seeing a whole bunch of completions in a row. 13 plays, 75 yards. There's the first one for 10. Then the next one is about to go for 9. That's good. Now it's 3rd and 1. Let's see what happens on 3rd and 1. Stop him. Oh, that's pretty easy. That's an easy 5-yard catch. And here goes a 24-yarder from Ryan Fitzpatrick against Belichick's defense. Oh, that's not good.
That's
on Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah, that's the defensive player of the year. Okay, the guys on the tell had to have one bad game.
He's just going bing, bing, bing down. Here's 3rd and 5. We're about to see 3rd and 5 at the 27. There's another big completion for another first down. Then we got an 8-yard completion. This is against Belichick's defense. This is for the 2 seed on the line. And then we got a 4-yard completion. Whoops. Now we got, here we go. This is it for the whole season right here. Season's on the line, 23 seconds left to Gesicki for a touchdown. That's what Belichick's defense allowed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 straight completions by Ryan Fitzpatrick to blow the 2 seed. That's what Tom Brady's up against, and that's why I don't really care what Robert Kraft says, because I think it's going to be Brady's decision. He's free right now. He's going to say,
why is he free?
I don't want to go back there.
Why is he free?
Why would I want any of that?
Why is he free?
I don't want any of that.
Why is he free? They could have made it a moot point.
Good.
He couldn't have been free.
Good.
But you know what I did? What I noticed, were there any drives before that last drive that Tom Brady had? The one that you showed where he had 7 completions. Were there any drives in the game before that?
Well, sure there were, but he put them ahead 24-20. It was going to take a touchdown to lose the 2 seed, and you saw what just happened.
What about that pick 6 that he threw that put him behind in the ball game?
Yeah, okay, but he overcame that with another game-winning 4th-quarter drive that should have stood up. If Belichick's defense were half as good as you kept saying, they would have at least stopped.
If you don't mind me asking, you say after Baltimore, you said the Patriots' defense was 10th, allowed the 10th most points allowed.
Yep.
If you don't mind me asking, can you tell the people at home where the Patriots' offense ranked after the Baltimore game?
They ranked for the year dead last in separation.
No.
Tight ends were dead last in production in the league.
Skip.
How can Tom? You can't fault Brady for that.
Well, Skip, you keep talking about he was playing with spare parts.
It was miraculous. He took that junk and put it in position. That junk to be a 2 seed.
But see what you did, Skip? You keep saying Brady was playing with spare parts.
Yeah.
He was playing with spare parts because he all of a sudden turned into a shade tree mechanic. He was not the guy that he once was, because this is what I noticed. You talk about they were 18th in rushing. I never heard when they won the Super Bowl against the Rams that they led the playoffs in rushing. He didn't mention that. That was Tom Brady.
Okay.
You see, hold on, wait a minute, Skip, wait a minute. You didn't mention any of that. All these parts, you never gave Edelman, you never gave the guys that Brady was winning championships with the blame that you give them when they lose.
Okay.
Why is that?
Because his #1 receiver led the NFL last year in drop passes. Julian Edelman led in drop passes. You never bring that up.
Skip.
How can you overcome that?
Skip.
It's hard, man.
It's hard to believe that a guy's not going to drop a bunch of passes when he has a bunch of passes thrown to him. So it happens. He's in
a broken down shell of himself, and that's all you had to work with.
Now all of a sudden, he's broken down. Super Bowl MVP. Now, 1 minute, Jenny, we having a discussion, he's in the Hall of Fame. The next minute, he's broken down. And all because of Tom Brady.
And furthermore, back to the premise of this discussion.
Yes.
There's no way Robert Kraft doesn't want Tom Brady back.
That's not what he's saying.
What did we hear from Dana White the other day? He wants him back real bad.
What's he supposed to say?
Real bad.
What's he supposed to say? Dana, I don't want Tom. What's he supposed to say, Jenny?
Well, he didn't like Dana.
Well, he could say nothing. If he really didn't want him back, he could say nothing. He could just say, I'm going to stay out of this.
I want him back. I'm going to say that. But, Bill, do what you need to do. And, Bill, I trust. Now, Skip Bayless, look, at some point in time, Skip, we got to stop this. We got to stop blaming when Tom Brady plays bad. It's his receivers and his running backs' fault. When he plays good, Tom is great. That's all I'm saying. If you're gonna give these guys blame, give them some credit. Amendola and Hogan, they never got credit.
I always gave them credit.
No. You talk about the term. Jenny, Google.
Wait, time out. Was Amendola there last year?
No.
Was Hogan there?
No. All I'm saying, hold on, you didn't want those guys, remember? You kept making Amendola take pay cuts. Google,
what do you mean?
Who does more with less? And there's a picture of Tom Brady.
That is not what shows up.
And now all of a sudden...
That's true.
That's not what shows up.
And now all of a sudden, he can't do more with less because he's less.
Because the whole expression changed. He was trying to do more with less than zero.
No,
than
don't do that.
zero. You have to add than zero on the end of it. Less than zero. That's what he had to work with last year.
See, Coach Belichick sits up there and he's running that tape back.
Okay, Shannon Sharp. Should they have been the 2 seed last year from what I just showed you? Why not?
No. Because the Eagles should have beat them.
Okay, but they didn't.
Exactly.
So what am I talking about?
Because
Did Tom Brady put them in position to be the 2 seed?
Did Walker Tour Wentz put the ball on the guy's hand, on Aguilar's hands? That would have tied the game. Did he do that?
It was a hard catch.
Oh, my God.
It was over the wrong shoulder. Well, it was.
I can't believe you, Skip Bayless.
Okay, but the point was, in the end, did Tom Brady do what he always does and put them in the catbird seat to be the 2 seed?
He called an L.
To get a week off.
He called an L.
Do you realize how much a week off, 2 weeks before the first playoff game would have helped this team?
It was inevitable.
Ooh.
Inevitable. That which is bound to occur. The unavoidable. Yeah. It was going to happen, Skip. He's not the same.
Boy, I can't wait to see you coming in here Monday after Monday next year saying, yeah, I don't know, he looks pretty good to me.
No.
Put some talent around him. Put some pieces around him and see what's about to happen.
You see,
it's going to be the biggest story in the history of the National Football League.
Tom Brady's greatness was what happens to Tom Brady's greatness, Skip, is that he always had less. Now, because he can't elevate that less, you blame the talent.
He elevated it to the 2 seed. I don't know what part of that don't you understand?
He called the L.
Because of Belichick's defense, again, just because it was Belichick's defense that cost him a Super Bowl against the Eagles. They gave up 41 points to Nick Foles. Are you kidding me?